Hello folks, welcome back to the only Honda Snowblower channel on YouTube. For you new people, welcome to the group, welcome to the channel. I have over 200 videos on how to save money on basic maintenance and repairs for your Honda Snowblower. Now let me refresh everybody's memory. I got this 624 a few days ago. The owner told me it was running and then it locked up. So I know it has a locked up engine. So what I'm going to do today is determine whether it's locked up all the way, if it's blown, if the engine's blown, or we can unlock it and get it running again, okay? Now some people might say, hey Anthony, it might be hydro lock. A hydro lock is when you've got some kind of liquid in the cylinder. It could be water, gas, or oil. The easiest way to determine that is remove the plug. Now this engine's locked up because I can't pull the recoil starter. It won't go. But if it's hydro locked, we can remove the spark plug and the engine will turn over if it's just hydro locked. So what you do is you pull the starter cord over and over and you'll see whatever liquid's in the cylinder it gets expelled through the spark plug hole. Well, I've already determined that it's not hydro locked. The owner told me that it was running and it just stopped. So I brought it back to the shop here, and first thing I did was check the oil. When I checked the oil, there was no oil on the dipstick. Probably why it stopped, okay folks? That's why I'm always telling people to check the oil. Now the next thing I did was I already removed the spark plug. I sprayed a bunch of penetrant in the spark plug hole. This is Kroil penetrating oil. It's pretty much the better stuff I've ever used, okay? I use it for the very difficult cases. I usually use liquid wrench penetrating oil for easy cases. But when nothing else works, I use this stuff. It's pricey. I'll try to put a link in the description where you can get this. But it works. I mean, I've taken augers apart with this oil, and I use it to unfreeze engines. I've unfrozen a bunch of engines, and about half the engines are blown. So this is what we're going to look at today. So I sprayed a bunch of penetrating oil in the spark plug hole and let it sit for a couple hours. And then what I did, I removed the belt cover, and I put a breaker bar with a 12mm socket on the end here, on your end of your pulleys, and I tried turning the engine over. Even after a couple hours of the oil penetrating inside the cylinder, it was still locked up. So what I did was I sprayed a heck of a lot more penetrating oil in the spark plug hole and let it sit overnight. Now the following morning, I tried turning it again, and it started moving a little bit. It was hard, but it started moving a little bit. So I kept on trying it and trying it and trying it, and finally it started freeing up. Now that's encouraging. I got the piston moving in there, but what you have to do a full cycle. You have to do a full circle, and if the engine's blown, it will only go so far, and then you'll hear a clunk. That means that the rod broke, something broke inside the engine, and it's blown. But in this case, I kept on turning it over and over and over. There was no clunking sound. I was able to free up the engine, which is very, very good news, okay? So I'll put this aside. Now I try pulling it with my recoil starter, and I was able to turn the engine over and over and over as normal. It wasn't hard. It freed up. I was able to turn it over. So after I did that, I changed the oil because there was just a little bit of oil in the crankcase. I added some used oil in there, turned the engine over a dozen times or so. Plus I got the penetrating oil in there. I got to drain all that out. So I drained that all out. I put new oil in the crankcase. After I did that, I took out all the old gas out of the carburetor and the fuel tank. Now you might get one of these, you know, at the dump. You might get a machine like this, but that's left outside for years. It's just been neglected. It's all locked up for whatever reason. And you know, you could get it at the dump. You could get it from a neighbor or really cheap online. This is what I'm trying to show people. You know, it's at the very least, it's good for parts. There's a lot of good parts on this machine that you can use. On a 624 tracked machine, it's good for 624s and 724s. So there's a lot of good parts on this machine. The tracks, the handlebars, the augers. If you can see the augers are pretty good. One of them's bent. But anyways, that's easy. And then I checked the belts, and the belts were okay. Well, anyways, this is a good skill to learn. You can save a lot of money, you know, from taking it to the shop and have it unlocked for you, or you can find a machine like this and find out that the engine's not blown. You can restore it and keep it. So anyways, after I changed the oil, I removed all the gas from the tank. There was no rust in the tank, but the gas was really old. You could tell by the smell. It was like kerosene. It must have been sitting for years. So the gas is no good. So I took the gas out of that, took the gas, drained it out of the carburetor, and then I cleaned the carburetor in frame. Now people are going to ask me, I'm trying to save time here. I don't want to spend 15 or 20 minutes of your time cleaning out the carburetor without removing it. We've got a video on that. Anytime I mention something like that, you can go to the channel, the search, and you can type in how to clean the carburetor without removing it, and it'll give you that video. So you can do that. So I cleaned out the carburetor, which only took me about 15 minutes. Put brand new gas in it. Then check the transmission fluid, check the oil again. And then I wanted to see if it will start. So I got the gas on now. I put a brand new plug in there, gapped it, put the brand new plug in there. And let's see if it will start now. Turn the key on. Well, first of all, what I did was I had the key off and I pulled the starter cord 2 or 3 times. I want to get compression back into the engine. Then I turned the key on, put it on choke, and let's see what goes here. So in this case it worked. So I got lucky, okay? Half the time the engine's blown and then the machine's only good for parts. In this case, we got it running again. So I'm just showing you the step-by-steps I do. If your engine is not hydro-locked, which I already said, you can pull the plug and see if you can pull the recoil. If it's locked up due to neglect, or there was low oil in this case and the engine just stopped, as you can see, there was no smoke. So I don't think there's any damage to the rings, or there's no knocking in the engine. So I ran it for quite a while and it runs good now. So we got lucky this time. I just wanted to show you the step-by-step on how to unlock a frozen up engine. Thanks for watching. If you think this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time, folks.